Hello and welcome to your week 4 assembly. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Miss Barucci and I work at Sydney Stringer Academy and at Ernsford Grange. And today I've been given the privilege by Mr. Hudson, thank you Mr. Hudson, to talk to you about something that is really important to me. So the theme of today's assembly, and it's slightly different to some of the assemblies I know you've had before, but the theme of today's assembly is actually sacrifice. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is to have a look and have a think about what you think is the one thing that you might find the hardest to give up. I've got some pictures on the screen to help you. Some of you might be a favourite food. For some of you, it might be your mobile phone. I'd certainly find that hard to give up. And for some of you, it may be your computer games, or it might be your social media. But what's the one thing that you would find really hard to give up? I guess my next question then is, could you give up all food and all drink during daylight hours? I imagine some of you are thinking, what? Actually, there are 1.8 billion Muslims across the world who are doing and have been doing exactly that for the last 4 weeks. And it started on Friday, the 24th of April, which was incidentally my birthday. So I was giving up food and drink on my birthday. So why do Muslims do that? Ramadan is a month in the Islamic calendar when Muslims sacrifice by not eating from dawn till dusk. So dawn from when the sun comes up in the morning to dusk at night time. So why would they do that? Rather than bore you and give you lots of slides on what I think Ramadan is all about, I'm actually going to share a poem that my mum and dad taught me when I was little to try and teach me a little bit about why Ramadan was important to us as a family. So I hope you enjoy it. So here goes. So Muslims must fast in Ramadan because it is one of the pillars of Islam. It's a really blessed month, you know. We fast for Allah, that's God, you know. It's really designed to make us think about the poor, to make us think about those who don't drink, as we refrain from food and drink. We feel the hunger, we feel the pain, but there is so much for a fasting person to gain. From dawn till dusk, we fast. And in that time, we hope we will last. We try so hard to do much good. And we build taqwa like we should. But what you really need to know is that it was in Ramadan when God gave mankind the Holy Quran. And so began Islam's call to bring peace, to bring love to us all. But the best thing about fasting, well, fasting teaches discipline too. It's self-control, and it's not just for me as a Muslim, it's for you too. As year by year, we aim to be better humans as God would like us to be. I hope you enjoyed that poem, which means a great deal to me. My parents taught it to me when I was about 6, and I was very young when my parents get me up in the morning and get me excited about Ramadan. What I've got now is a little clip for you to watch from Miss Maisha, who misses you very much, talking a little bit about what Ramadan means to her.
Hi guys, I hope you're all well and I miss you so much. Today I've been asked to speak about Ramadan. So Ramadan to me is not just a time where you are fasting, so you're thinking about the poor and you're going to give more charity to them. It's actually about a spiritual boost. So what I mean by that is, it is a dedicated time to praying more, to reading our Holy Quran, which is our holy book, to refraining from using bad language, to thinking about your actions, to practicing self-control. It's just a time really dedicated to reflection, to thinking about the kind of person you want to be and should be, and then to strive towards being that better person. So I think I've had a really successful Ramadan. That's been really nice. Normally I'd be in Coventry teaching you guys, where half of you don't even know that I'm fasting. Whereas this time around I'm with my family in Birmingham, and it's nice to have that motivation and feeling where when I wake up at 3 a.m. there are other people around me to motivate me to pray and to eat something so I don't starve all day. So yeah, to sum up, it is really just a time about reflection and about being better, being a better version of myself. Eid is a celebration that we have at the end of Ramadan. So if I am ever off school because I'm celebrating Eid, just know all I'm doing is I'm dressing up, I am taking loads of pictures, making loads of food, and then going to friends and family's home, and we just feed each other loads of food all day long until it's time to go to bed. So yeah, Eid's great. Yeah, so stay safe, guys, and I hope you're all enjoying your lockdown.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Miss Maisha. So I'm going to move on now, and I'm going to do a little bit of a quiz with you to see how well you've been listening, except I won't know because you're not in front of me, unfortunately. But just some questions for you to have a think about. So question number 1, true or false? Is it true that Muslims cannot eat or drink anything for a whole month? Have a think. So is it nothing to eat and drink for 30 straight days? Okay, have you had a think? And the answer to that is actually false. Muslims can eat, but they eat at nightfall. So I'm recording this assembly at 8:15. I've got about 45 minutes until I can eat something, and I can see that the sun is beginning to set in the sky. So I will eat at nightfall, and I can eat all through the night if I wanted to, but I don't, until the sun rises again. All Muslims fast, true or false? Does everybody have to do it, irrespective? Have a think. What do you think? Who might not have to do it? Okay. And this is actually false. Now, Islam teaches that fasting is for the healthy person. So anybody who is sick, the elderly, women who are pregnant or expecting, or anyone whose health might suffer because of fasting, the young, for example, they don't have to fast. It's only for those who can do it without harming themselves. So Muslims are not allowed to drink water while fasting. Is that true or is that false? I'm sensing you might know this one. It's actually true. So when Muslims fast, they give up drinking or eating anything for the period in which they are fasting, which currently is from 3 a.m. up until 9 o'clock at night. So it's an awfully long time. And quite often people ask me, well, how do you go that long without a drink? Can't you just have a tiny little drink, or just have one when nobody's looking? It's about my relationship with God, and it's about the sacrifice that I'm making, and therefore you're not allowed to have a drink, and you'll be surprised at how long you can go. And for the vast majority of us, certainly for me, I've been trained to fast from when I was very little, and so when I was your age at school, fasting was actually quite short. So I would wake up to have something to eat at around 6:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then fasting would be over, and it'd be nightfall by about 3:30 and 4 in the afternoon, because it was over the December period. And in fact, I remember one year when Christmas and Eid, the celebration after Ramadan, was on the same day, so it was absolutely magical. So next question. Fasting is about just giving up food and drink from dawn till dusk. Do you think that's true? Or is there anything else that Muslims are required to give up or sacrifice in that period? Okay, it is. Fasting's actually more, as Miss Maisha said, it's a spiritual journey and it's about bettering yourself. It's about becoming a better human. It's about thinking about what your flaws are or the things that you do that are bad habits. For example, one of my terrible habits is eating far too many biscuits with my cups of tea. You can ask Mr. De Groot, he'll tell you. So I might try and give that up. One of the things that I tend to do is when I'm saying my daily prayers, I sometimes rush them. I might spend far too long watching television during the holidays instead of doing something productive with my time. And so Ramadan is about bettering yourself. So not doing things that aren't necessarily good for you, but choosing activities that are better for you. So during Ramadan, I give up watching TV shows. I give up music. I give up anything that would be not using my time wisely. And I will redirect that time towards, for example, reading, learning something new, learning a new skill, praying or reading the Quran, anything that is going to help me become a better person. So this year, Ramadan has been very different. One of the greatest and the best things about Ramadan is it brings together families and communities, people that are fasting and even people that aren't fasting, come together for a meal at the end of the day. But this year, as you know, we've been in lockdown, and many of you will have felt the effects of that, not being able to see your friends, not being able to see your family, and indeed not even being in school and seeing us. So what I have got is a short clip for you to watch to see what Ramadan in lockdown has been like, especially for those who are serving us on the front line.
I think Ramadan has brought me, my husband, and my son much more together because it's just us three. All day, all night, we're seeing each other's faces.
When we're asked to opt out to like join the frontline workers, it's part of my duty as a student nurse, becoming a registered nurse, to provide care for your patients and care for people.
I hear so many stories and I'll go and like pray and like sometimes I'll cry, and I genuinely think I'd be a mess if I didn't have Islam.
Someone wants attention. Hello, my name is Anmol Marvin. I was pregnant in my final year of uni and I still graduated with a 2-1. So my son, before even being born, was my biggest motivation, and now he's here. I don't want to cry about it, but he is the light of my life. I can't meet up with my brothers and my parents. It's sad because they can't see him run around in their house, in their garden and stuff.
Suhoor is the early morning meal that we have before beginning our fast. So it is at 3:45. I don't have much time left. The cut-off is like before 4:10. I have to eat everything. I've just made some Nutella. I've got some banana, a bit of potassium. I've got my favorite herbal teas that also have vitamins in there.
Hello, my name is Hani Ismail. I'm from Birmingham. I'm currently in my 3rd year as a student nurse.
So I've had to move out because both my parents have like health conditions. It's so easy to be exposed to the virus.
Just completed my first day wearing a surgical mask, a tight surgical mask for 7.5-hour shift. When I came out, I literally had the surgical mask bruised on my face.
I work with such lovely people. I'm able to pray when I need to pray.
I've got some spring rolls, I've got some jabati in there.
Iftar is an evening meal when we open our fast at sunset.
Iftar is where I go all out.
We've got pakoras, spring rolls, my potatoes, sponge cake.
And I slug out and then I chill afterwards and that's it.
Hello, my name is Sada Salim. I'm a student and I work part-time at the supermarket. Today was my 2nd shift fasting. I'm going to work and scanning food. Sometimes it really hits me, like the thirst. I'm kind of just stuck with my own living family, which is fine, but it's a bit isolated. Everyone's sitting around the table, eating together, having a bit of jokes. and then praying all the other prayers together. It's just things like that that I miss.
Us being together, all healthy and safe, I can't ask for anything more. So I feel like this year compared to last, I'm so much more appreciative.
So this year's Ramadan and Eid is going to be very different for all of those, for everybody that's participating. And I imagine for many people that's going to be quite a challenge, but we look forward to Eid, which will hopefully be in a week's time. So Eid is a bit like Christmas. So what happens at Christmas? You eat plenty, lots of presents gifted, and you see your family. The big things that will be different this year for Muslims is Muslims gather together and pray and say their Eid prayers together, and all of those gatherings will be cancelled. Visiting each other's homes will be cancelled, and instead families who live together will be eating together and exchanging gifts with the ones that they live with. So finally, just to finish off, at the beginning of this assembly, I said that it was all about sacrifice. So what I want you to have a think about over the next week or so is, what do you do to sacrifice for others? Or indeed, what have you been doing so far to sacrifice for others? It may be that you've been helping in your local community. It may be that you've been helping your parents or carers with younger siblings. It may be that you've been helping siblings with homework. But what are the sacrifices that you make for others? And what are the sacrifices that you make to become a better person? I hope you've enjoyed learning about Ramadan and Eid, and I hope that the next time I'm speaking to you all, it'll be an opportunity to do that face to face. Thank you, Ernstford. Take care and stay safe.